passe. Super, l'artiste. Super, encore un but sensationnel. That's a brilliant bit of follow-up play by Mahe.
Oh my goodness me, what a shot!
Sagosen setter det hen! Han setter den! Vi i semifinale igjen!
Hello there, handball fans. Chris O'Reilly here with the post-Budapest EHF Final 4 episode of the Uninformed Handball Hour. And speaking to you on a Monday, we recorded this episode on Sunday shortly after the final, where Vipers became 3-time consecutive champions, beating Fradi, the old FTC Rail Cargo Hungaria, in the final, whereas Djur picked up the bronze against Esbjerg. And I was joined in the first part by a plethora of guests live on the Home of Handball Twitch channel, and that was Martin Vilstrup, who is my co-host on The Spin, an international beach handball player, 2-time European champion, also indoor player in Denmark and formerly in Norway and Germany. Anja Althaus, 3-time champion of the EHF Champions League, most recently with Djur in 2019. Lucie Marie Kretschmar, playing professionally in Germany, and Ditte Vind, who's played professionally in Denmark and most recently in France. They were hosting the shows all through the weekend, and I hopped in with them before we were joined by Gabriella Horvath, who's the Secretary General of the Hungarian Handball Federation, also big friend of the podcast, professional in Hungary and in Denmark in her day, big part of the organisation of this EHF Final 4, so great to speak to her as well. And then Brian Campion came in, and me, Brian, and Gabby had a chat, and Brian and I wrapped it all up. So we'll dive in. And as it always is with the live show, it can be a little bit hectic, but hopefully you get the gist of it and enjoy our little reflection on what happened in Budapest over the weekend.
Hey, hello everyone, how are we doing?
We are doing well, quite good.
Any quick comments on the game from your perspective, Mr.
I'm
O'Reilly?
surrounded by a bunch of champions and a bronze medalist. So it'd be great to hear from you folks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some people might say, like, that's a little bit of an anticlimax, but you can't be mad with the team. You can't be angry with the team which are just so composed
dominant
and so good.
Yeah. Throughout the whole season.
Yeah, well, the whole season,
They won their group as well.
I mean, if you really see the whole season, they completely deserve it, and they go for it. Then actually, what I say, they was not that ice cold like they have been last year. They were shaking some moments, and they didn't perform the first half like this well, but still coming back, like really.
Look at another special guest joining us here.
I really think like the way how they stepped up now in the second half, it was like really amazing, like with experience, but also they stay more together, because actually Lucie maybe was saying in the beginning, like when we watched Fradi, like in the anthem of the EHF, where Fradi stay together and Vipers stay like for themselves, but in the second half, actually the players of Vipers stayed together on the bench, you know, like, and they became like this team what Fradi shows in the first half.
So impressive. And we've been joined by another
Yes.
person. You're going to share the mic, Gabriella Horvath, who's Secretary General of the Hungarian Handball Federation, member of the Beach Handball Commission for the EHF, former pro in Hungary and in Denmark, and overall beach handball legend, and here to share a little bit as well. Also a huge fan of the podcast as well, which is why I always wanted to get Gabby on as well. Welcome.
Hi. Hello everybody, thanks for the invitation, and yes, I'm a huge fan, always listening to the podcast. I think it's really super interesting to hear what you have to say, what you're discussing overall about handball, so here I am.
And now you're going to be on it.
Yeah, it's a real privilege.
That's so sweet coming from someone who's literally in charge of this whole thing. Yeah. Right? No, it's a privilege for us to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you just give us a little bit of insight from the Federation side? Because you just, well, besides everything that's happened on the court, you've just broken a world record as well.
Yes, well, this is the 9th edition of the Final Four, and we've been super excited about it. Also, last year when we moved to this new arena, that really gave us a huge opportunity to further develop the product, to give a lot of nice images about women handball and female club handball. And this year, when we learned who is going to take part, we already felt in our guts that this is going to be the Final Four that's going to be historic, which is actually pretty good, I think, because the whole season was a historic season. It's the 30th year of the Champions League, so I think we could just celebrate it with a historic Final Four, breaking the world record. It makes us extremely proud, and we've been looking for it all year.
And just a little thing on the crowd as well, because that was also a big talking point leading up to it, about how the Fradi fans would also like react to everything. But like, I think one of my favorite moments of this whole weekend was seeing the last couple of minutes with the game decided, but the entire arena basically standing on its feet. The Gerd fans, the Fradi fans, Esbjerg and Vipers, to appreciate, I think, not just Vipers as the winner, but like everyone's effort in this weekend and the spectacle. Like that was a really beautiful moment.
Yes, I'm actually really proud, and just you telling this, it gives me again the same goosebump as living it a few minutes ago. We really love this event, and I think it was like really crowning the season, and I really appreciate that the fans could feel this specialty of this edition, and they were celebrating it. So this is a real celebration of handball, I think, and I think it's excellent that all the fans stay, all the fans celebrate. Also for the awarding ceremony, everybody's here, everybody's celebrating, cheering for the winners, cheering for the players. I think it shows so much about handball, the whole society, the family, the fans all together. So I'm very proud of being a part of this sport.
Yeah, we are.
Just ask the two newcomers to Budapest on the female side, Martin. I mean, I'll ask you in a moment as well. But as professionals played in France and Denmark, playing in Germany, it's first time in Budapest for both of you as well, right? Mm-hmm. Seeing the pinnacle of women's club handball and seeing a lot of players you've either played against or played with. Also, what has that given you this weekend?
Well, I have the microphone here. I think it's just super exciting to be part of this history, and it's so funny because we keep naming the slogan here, and it's not something that anybody told me to say, but it really feels like you're part of history. And for me, it's just the biggest event for me to be part of. I think it's amazing to be here, and it's also like personally having played against many of the players in my junior national team years and in my club teams. It feels like, I don't know, it's a big deal for me to see how far these people can go, and I am super jealous at the same time that they're there and I'm here, but I feel like I'm part of history, and it's amazing to be here.
You shouldn't be jealous. You won. You're here with us.
Okay, great.
Right, Mark.
I'm all right.
You're right.
It's better to be here, right?
Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, no, but it's
for me it's also like really crazy to be here and like having this atmosphere of 20,000 people being here and having like the best teams in Europe or maybe also in the world, like playing here for crowning their season. And we also said that it's like when you see what's behind this, not only behind the organization, also behind the whole season, that they worked so hard. They had like every day they train for this, like for being here, and that's why we also like mentioned these emotions that we saw, because now it's the highlight of the season is over, and like everything falls like down from you, like the whole pressure, everything that you did, and then to start again then when the new season starts. And this is also for me as handball player really emotional to see like how many effort they put in this and like how they're feeling after it. And
a connection with that, just ask a little bit about the bronze medal game, because I also felt with the intensity that was played at, and also hearing people speak about it afterwards, like Anna Gross saying, this is actually the is the first step also for next season. This takes us into that next season. And about Jura in total, you have a lot of connections to the players. It doesn't feel like the team it was basically since you left after winning in 2019. But what do you make of the weekend from them and what their future holds as well, with a bit of a generation change in a way, with coach and captain leaving?
Well, I think we already saw that there is a change, not because we had this domination of Győr, and also I think we talked a lot now this weekend about this, that the teams get more wider. So it's not just like you're coming to the Final Four, you know that Győr is just winning. So over the last 2 years, I think clubs saw and other teams saw that it's possible to win against Győr. And it's not means that Győr got more bad. It means that the other team stepped up, which I think it's great for our incredible sport. And also that we are getting like this amazing event even more exciting and more insane in some moments, that you don't know what this will happen. Because before it was like you come to the Final Four and you have like, Győr will win. You know, so but now you have this beautiful Cinderella story of Fradi, and I mean, if you are really completely honest, and this is also what I spoke with the players yesterday. I mean, Győr don't have like this good season. They had like this roller coaster season. They had really some games where you think, oh my goodness, what's going on? But they struggled like a lot the last years, and I think also after Ambros left. When I go and the first time when he left, I think there came already some changes. I mean, they were still winning from the big, from the big thing what Ambros was building up. But actually, you start to see like step by step things changed after, and then they didn't manage to step up, and now. After Duda stopped, I mean, there's a lot of changes going on. A lot of things happened, and I think Győr also need to understand now that they need to start from the beginning again. I mean, they have a completely new book. It's not just a new chapter. They need to start completely a new book. But on the other hand, it's like we have Vipers, who is now winning 3 times in a row the title. I mean, now we need to stop Vipers, and it's getting interesting. Who's gonna be this?
Yeah.
So. It's getting interesting to see. I'm very curious now for the next season what will happen.
Győr will be just fine. They will have a Danish coach next year.
I wanted to ask you about Ulrik Kirkeli coming in from Odense. Martin, do you know much about him? What can you tell us about him?
Well, he used to, when I played in GOG, he was there as well, and also the assistant coach. I know him a little bit more than I know Kirkeli, but just from this year, now they're in the national championship with Odense. Maybe they wanted to perform a little bit better in the Champions League that they've been doing, Odense, but in general, it's been a success for them with him. And it was a little bit of a surprise to me, him joining, from my perspective, the biggest club in the world. Although Vipers won it 3 times in a row now, I still think Győr is when you speak about Győr, is still the biggest club. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can deal with the pressure there will be in a club like that. Because one thing is, having the quality and the abilities to, when it comes to being a coach, but can he, handle the pressure?
Yeah. But I still think, I mean, for Győr it's good, and I think they proved, and this is the good thing, they proved that they are still there. I think they play a great match today. I mean, the first half was amazing, and I think this is like a good sign also for the club and for the players for the next year, that they don't want it to, that they show we are here and we will come back.
Maybe sometimes it gets a little bit sickening with all the compliments, but we also have to say whatever Gabriella touches seems to come out with a really great output, only with beach handball, but also this event here in general. So also we have to acknowledge that Gabriella is doing a great job.
Very great job, yes.
I have to say so.
Thank you, but the compliments are for the teams.
I know you don't want all the attention or all the compliments, Gabriella, but it's well deserved also.
So how many hours have you all been on the stream now? Today?
Way too much.
Way too much? Okay.
Since
2
way too
less.
Way too less?
Like
I think
cry for
way
help.
too less.
Since 2 p.m.
Before we let you go then, and we just talk a little more with Gabi and maybe Brian if he ever makes it up.
If he shows up.
I want to ask for each of you have time to think about this now. Each of your personal highlight, for whatever reason, of the weekend.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
And who your personal MVP of the Final Four was. And it can't be Anna Vekareva because she's the official one. So anyone else. Doesn't have to be necessarily for sporting reasons, ideally yes, but it could be something else that you were inspired by.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done too.
I also
Okay.
think
I will
have
say
mine.
the first because then
Lucie
you will
Marie
take my
Kretschmar.
moment away. I know it.
So, Kretschmar, you're up first then.
Yeah, of course, the goal from Emily Burke, where she shot FTC into the Champions League final, because like also knowing her and like playing against her in the youth and knowing which way she went until here, and then being here in the Champions League final 4 is like already okay, whole Germany was proud of you. But then also scoring this hell of important goal for her team and seeing her like having tears in her eyes and running just away, this whole emotions, this was great.
You felt like she needed that as well, because there's been times for club and country as well where there's been so much expectation on her, maybe unfairly so, just teammates kind of dumping it on her. It's like, come on, Emily, dig us out of this situation.
You're right.
But in the second half yesterday, she was like, okay, because she wasn't alone, of course, but she needed to step up, and she did.
Lucie and me, we was actually talking a lot about this, and I think that actually she really got, in a very young age, so much responsible in the German national team, and where everybody expect a lot from her, but she was not ready for that, and also she didn't have the help. And if you ask me, I will also say the same moment, because I'm really proud of her. But also on the other hand, my MVPs was like Andrea Lekic, because I think she created a lot of space for her, and she gave her the power to encourage her to do this. I mean, she was not like we see Lecky for so many years, and I think like still she's fighting. She's not on this level anymore, but she's still creating a lot of space, and especially now for a player as Emily Burke. She was really incredible, and I talked with her, and I know the way what she was working for her, and speaking with her also in the halftime to give her the courage and the support. And I think this is exactly what Emmy needs. And I'm very happy for her that she got it in this moment, and I'm really looking forward what this moment do for her now in the next season.
And you're an MVP, Lucie?
My MVP will be Emily Burke then.
As well.
I'll go with her.
Yeah, nice. And just one thing on Lekic as well, like you see, she may not have the same like meter of speed as she used to have before, but she showed it a lot yesterday.
Yes,
And one of my favorite goals from her was in the first half today, where she shows you don't have to have all the power in the world. You just need to be able to, use physics on your side and trigonometry, and she did that really well.
No, really, and I think she played an incredible game yesterday, and she was really like the mind, the head behind everything, and also like supporting everybody, and giving the experience. I mean, she had played this Final Fours, and also we fight together for Vara, and she also knows this might be the last chance to be here, and I think she really stepped up. Of course, you can speak like from MVPs who make the best goals and everything, but there are also players behind who are working really a lot for the team, and I see that she did this, and for me, that's why she's the MVP.
Nice. Who has their moment at MVP next? Including you, Gabi, by the way. Yeah. Are you ready?
Then, from the organizer perspective, I cannot go with anything else than with this goal. Because then it was really the whole arena exploding. This was, I think, a huge moment, and this brought this excitement, what everybody is looking for, the chill everybody is looking for. And then, she just had this very last seconds, this blast, and it went in, and, the arena was like completely exploding. So for me, the moment of the Final Four was really that. And I would also go with Andrea Lekic. And also for her, the leadership she showed, but a little bit knowing from the background that she actually played those last many couple of minutes already injured. But the team just felt that, okay, but we are in the end of the season, and she can just do that, and she's needed, and she would just go there and do it with the left hand. I mean, for me, that was really amazing that she could just keep going. But also, I'm not in an easy position because, of course, I did not see all the matches. I had a lot of other things to do, so yeah, I can only say from what I observed, but I think I saw the moment of the Final Four, and that was this goal. And watching her playing in the second half and delivering the game she did, I think she would deserve it. So
I want to agree. The last 30 seconds of Esbjerg and FTC, it had my heart, my pulse racing so bad. It was.
And your cursing words?
Yeah,
also.
and my cursor, and I think I was hitting Martin at the same time. I was sitting like this. Oh my god, because it was like up and down, and who gets the ball, and it's running, and okay, she has it and shooting. It was amazing. It was it was a moment for history for sure. And my MVP, I'm a goalkeeper, so I gotta go with Katrine Lunde. She's amazing, and my all-time favorite player was a Norwegian goalkeeper, and her name is Cecilie Leganger, and she was amazing, and I think Katrine Lunde is equally as amazing.
7th title.
Yeah.
Yes, 7
Katrine
titles.
Lunde.
7.
Breaking the record.
She has to do a panorama picture with her trophies.
We can't fit it into one. Oh, we have to.
My prediction was Vipers to win the thing and Lunde as MVP, so I'm glad somebody said it. Yeah. And I was trying
Always
to
on
hint
your
it as
side.
well in the commentary. I was like, an
But
MVP performance perhaps. But
Yeah, but she's amazing like that because we just expect greatness from her. And it's like, I think we could go on this today and not mention her that much, but she made a huge impact in the game she played during the weekend. And I think it's just in everybody's mind that we expect greatness from her. And she delivers.
You're right. And I think but she was there in the moments where Vipers needed. She was there. It was really incredible saves. But I really respect the moment when she decided to go out and to give the other goalkeeper the chance. You know, I really admire that she have the feeling, okay, now it's this, and actually give the trust, you know, and this was not easy moments where she go out. It was not easy moments. And this is also a greatness what you have to give to her.
Yeah. The insight.
yeah, it must give such a boost for Sophie because she made a save in the penalty in the semi-final.
Too,
and then today is like she just said every time, just go in, go in.
Yes.
And eventually it worked out. Yeah. But on Lunde and the saves as well, like one of Fradi's biggest strengths is the fact that they use the wings more than anyone else, and they have perhaps the best wing pair. But not today.
No.
Lunde was there to shut them down, and that really felt like it got in the minds that Malestein 3 times in pretty quick succession in the first half was shut down.
Yeah, for sure.
So I like the choice. I like the choice.
The GOAT, as they say in the chat.
Last not but least,
The goat keeper.
Vilstrup.
You're giving me a hard time because I don't want to say the things that you guys said so quickly.
Okay.
If I have to say an MVP that you haven't mentioned, because otherwise I was.
You want to be unique.
That I don't know, but I find it a little bit boring if we give the same answer. All of us, I was thinking about Bølg as well, but Jamina Roberts also thinks she pulled up a really great semi-final. And today, she's maybe not the most outstanding player, but she's there also whenever they need. And she plays a lot of minutes, and mostly we say Vakieva, Yarabkova, and then just Jamina Roberts. But in the total, I think she made around 13, 14 goals, and that's also worth mentioning and stepping up as a Final Four event. Then, if I don't mention the Fradi mentality, just never giving up, which was also the case in the quarterfinal against Metz, and giving 100%. We had Bea, who was in here and saying, all we want from you guys is just to give 100%. Then I also liked the games within the game. You know, we saw Tomori going over to Nora Mørk at some point where she was shooting a 7-meter, and she was, I would say, trash talking to her, probably saying some words that you would say to her. And that mentality from Fradi, and you know, they came here and underdogs, just in general, them never giving up and giving it all. And they also gave a fight to Vipers today. That maybe is like, that's not one moment, but that moment with Tomori, with Mørk, that's just, I like those kind of small things that you know probably don't notice in general. And probably those.
So Roberts is your
if I'm not allowed to say Lunde or Bølg or whoever, then I'll go with Jamina. I think she's a little bit going on
well
with
for that. Also, the first time she's playing in this event,
Exactly.
and she belonged straight, like 4 goals in the first 10 minutes yesterday. It's like, I belong here. And, you know, considering she played in Hungary a few years ago, had a really miserable time. She's reinvented herself after having a child as well.
Yeah.
She's become this whole new player. That
true.
is a great story as well, which should be celebrated. So
I agree.
yes.
I
Good
agree.
choice, Mark.
Thank you. You're the first one to actually give me some credit
I'm
today.
here to
Russia's
say.
ego again, yeah, sure.
he's crying again.
You know who was crying earlier on, you know,
But
live.
I cry for real things. This is like nothing.
I think that we collected a lot of beautiful memories and like not just like from the sports side, from the handball side, because this was of course like a great event and we saw some great matches and like the best handball players of the world also, but also like everything beside this, you know, and like besides also in the show or when we were off cam, I don't know, it was really like a great event, and it was like fun to be here with you guys and like to collect these things together with you all.
Same to you, Lucie.
Same. I just can give everything back as well. I really enjoyed it. I think the whole event was just amazing.
You guys can now get the first beer of the evening in while we substitute you
I'm not drinking
with Brian
any beer. I
Campion.
go with my water.
Gabby, you're going to stay for a couple of more
Serious
minutes.
sportsman.
And Brian Campion comes on to join us. All right. Brian, welcome.
Am I working? Yes. Lovely.
Yes. Everyone give some love to Brian, the sweatiest man probably in the arena,
Yes, I smell
running
terrible right
around. We tried to get you live to speak to some of the players, but the Wi-Fi isn't very helpful at the moment.
Yeah,
for that.
The connection down there
But
wasn't great.
what were the vibes? What were you getting down there in the mix zone and the celebrations?
Maybe not as wild as other years. I think it's when you win 3 in a row, I think it's understood a little bit that maybe the celebrations and big moments aren't as crazy. But I mean, Viper's very happy. FTC obviously hugely disappointed, but maybe not. I mean, it reminded me a little bit of Grenoble. You know, they're upset a bit, but also, I mean, what a performance! Like second, after nobody put them down as contenders at all at the start of the season. So,
from a Hungarian point of view, I know like ever since the EHF Final4 was here, it's been like FTC were knocking on the door over and over again. We had like at every Final Four, Gabriella and Nerea Peña would be having drinks at the hotel, just like, you know, remember us? Now they finally made it. How huge is this also for the sport in Hungary?
Well, it is huge, and I'm really happy for them. It was a fantastic comeback when they joined in, and if I'm really honest, I think deep in our heart, all of us who were part of the organization, we always hoped that one time they will make it. Maybe one time this is going to happen when we will have this pleasant problem that we could sell like 40,000 tickets and this arena is just 20,000, and this is fantastic for female handball, I think. So yeah, it's huge. I think it has a great impact, but not only in Hungarian sport or Hungary, but I think that in handball in general and women handball, the images that we just created and showed the world, I think it can really, you know, elevate where we are.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy for this.
And it kind of came in the most unexpected scenario yet, because FTC have been close a few times. This time they were coming into a quarterfinal against probably one of the most informed teams in Metz, losing the first leg heavily. It feels very, in one way, like perfectly like Fradi, and also very un-Fradi at the same time that they managed to do it. Do you think the reputation of this team has also changed over the last couple of months?
Yeah, I think so. But you know, they were always capable of these fantastic, unexpected surprises, home and abroad as well. It was just never this thing, like, you know, where you have to just step over your own shadow, and it just never happened in the quarterfinals, even when we really expected. And this time they did it, and I think it does help their reputation, because they did step over now this shadow, and they can be expected to do it again and again. If I can tell a personal story,
Please.
This was Mother's Day. I think we are celebrating Mother's Day that weekend, that Sunday when it happened. And when we were watching the games together with my parents, but it was also a little bit of a celebration. So away from the TV, back on the TV, and then you know, you're just a bit outside, and then your phone starts to ring like, "Hey, are you watching? Are you watching?" And I'm like, "Okay, they are flipping around. Oh my God, what's happening?" So I was actually a little bit celebrating my mom rather than following the second half of that game, and but I was really happy to know that they did that. And it was incredible what happened just that Sunday afterwards. Like the phone was burning and messages, and everybody wanted tickets, and I was just looking at the tickets there, and then looking at the comments, and there are no tickets right now to buy. So it was an incredible Sunday.
I'm interested to see what you think about the dynamic between FTC and Győr. Obviously, it's unusual for a lot of people to see FTC in the final and Győr not in the final. How do you think that's going to develop? And I think it's probably only a good thing for Hungarian handball that you have Győr now, who are even hungrier than before, coming after FTC, who seem to have maybe in somewhat taken their place to a certain extent.
Yes, but I think that the perspective of this rival, it's a little bit different from the international handball view than it is in Hungary, because on the international level I think we have this, you're put on this the highest place where you can put them, and you just expect the best from them and always be on the Final Four, almost always winning and being the favorite of the Final Four, and for this somewhere they're knocking on the door, right? But when you come down to the Hungarian championships and the cups, then this is always a huge fight. And maybe Győr takes it more, but it's never easy for them. And Fradi is stealing sometimes the cup, or stealing the championship, like recently happened. So I think it's very different, because in Hungary, when these two teams playing, we always expect that anything can happen. I think on the international perspective is a little bit different. And I think what just happened, I mean, of course I'm really neutral in this, but I like when things get shake up a little bit, and then you can also look so much more forward the next season coming up with these fights and these games.
And do you expect it to? I mean, you said the FTC have kind of stepped out of their own shadow now a little bit, having failed 4 times in the quarterfinals and now made it here and then got to the final. Do you think that's going to have a knock-on effect next season when they might want to attract different players, or they don't maybe have the same reputation anymore, that they can get to a final?
Well, I don't know if that's needed. I think, I'm not super familiar with the player politics of Ferencváros all the time, but I know that this is a club that's hugely respected. I think both in Hungary and international, it's a huge club. It's not just a handball club, but with a huge tradition behind. And they always talk about this Fradi family, and I think that such thing does exist when it comes down to this club. Like, it's a really, really big bound in between, and I think that the players who've been here probably are happy with what they saw. But I mean, in a way, I think you're also right, because this can show that we're going there. There's they have a chance there. They demonstrated an excellent game. So I think so.
This also marks the end for 2 big chapters in the club as well, with Gabor Elek leaving and Zita Suchansky as well. Can you give us a bit of context as well on these 2 huge characters in Hungarian handball?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me right now, it's a little bit difficult to imagine Ferencváros without Gabor and Zizi, because they were just, they are these faces of Ferencváros. When you think of the club, then you think of them, and then you think of Suchansky, of course, and a couple of others. But so for me, it's a bit difficult to just imagine how it's going to be. I think they had a huge impact. Of course, Ferencváros had a really, really shiny period also when still I was playing and young, and then they were the one who always just won the championship under the leadership of András Németh. And then this other huge era came basically when Gabor was for a longer time here. They had some great wins in the back then called Cup Winners' Cup. They were always doing fine and knocking on the Final Four door. Actually, I'm really happy for them that they could end this career here in Ferencváros with making the Final Four, being in this arena, basically a home field and say goodbye to the team this way. I think this is a wonderful thing that happened to them.
Yeah, regardless of how today went, like it was a very very
think
fitting.
Of course, I mean, had they win, but I think they, they were the underdogs here, and just the way they crushed the semi-final, the way they came back in the semi-final, they showed how they can fight for it and then win and be in the final. I'm really happy for them that it happened to them. And
well, I think we'll talk a little bit longer. We've kept you for longer than I think I promise you. That's how we do it. We always say 15 minutes and then 40 minutes later you're still here. I know you have a lot of other things to take care of, but thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again on a wonderful event.
Thank you so much, and it's been a real pleasure to be on this side and not on the other side.
Now you'll definitely join us again. Because also Gabby said to me now on 2 occasions, because we did our all-time all-star team for the men, she's like, when are you going to do the women's one? And she's like, I'm interested to see who you choose for that. So I think we need to have Gabi on for that because you have some opinions, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, this show really made us, or made me think. In fact, I was playing a little game with some of my friends, like, you know what? Now the man is sealed, but come on, let's talk about who would you say when it's a women, and we started to, build up our own teams, like which are the names you would go with. So I think it was really great. I loved that show, and I think not just me or not just I who was playing this game afterwards with the women and the men.
So we'll have to do it live with you.
Okay, then I have
we
to
promise
be a little
we
bit better
get
prepared.
Eduarda Amorim on for it when she feels ready. So we'll save it for when she's fit and ready, and you'll join the panel as well. Deal?
Okay, then I have to be prepared for that.
Yes. Good stuff.
Good done.
And thank you so much.
Thank you
Gabi.
very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank
Pleasure
you.
to have you on.
Bye-bye.
Brian, now that you've had a moment to breathe after being down, you said it was a little bit of not like an anticlimax, you say, but like it was a bit more calm in comparison. I feel like probably a lot of people at home would feel the same about the game itself, but you can't be mad at a team for being just so damn good over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we always fall into the trap of being neutrals and always wanting the underdogs to win and big results and huge drama. And I mean, Vipers were just head and shoulders better than them. And I think, no one can argue with the result at the end of the day. And it was, I mean, the club the Vipers have become over the last 3 years is just absolutely incredible to see. They are the new Győr.
It's mad.
It's crazy, They seem so dominant now as well, don't they? They seem to have all the traits that Győr had even just a few years ago.
Because it wasn't so long ago when they were here for the first time, and they were like the happy-go-lucky, the first like Norwegian team since Larvik to qualify. These like upstarts, Ole Ekstad was back in coaching, and he's like, "Oh, we're in the Final Four, isn't this great?" They won a bronze medal match, and then it was like, "Yeah, we're happy to be here."
Yeah.
And then after COVID, they've come back and they've absolutely smashed.
That's absolutely incredible.
That's another club where there's going to be a lot of changes over the next year. So we'll see, or over the summer. So we'll see how they react to that. But I always like hearing your perspective down on the ground as well during the game. Is there anything over the weekend that you like? You always have something, no pressure.
No.
But like, is there anything in particular that stuck with you? Like these little, not behind the scenes, but on the sideline things.
There was one thing. So I was actually running out with every team.
Yeah.
And
I did mention it on the live stream.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that so many people come up to me afterwards going, "I say I have to buy you a beer." Because all the compliments you were giving me that I should cut that clip and put up on my social media channels.
I just said your name. It's like, there's Brian Campion running out.
I think you gave me a compliment as well, didn't you?
I probably did.
About my content creation or something like that. Yeah. Well, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much. Yeah. Quite nerve-wracking running out like that as well, because you can't really see it on TV, but they have this kind of circle thing that they stand in first, and that goes up pretty high and come down again. And I'm coming out from behind the curtain, so I have to kind of run with the last player of every team, so 6 times around over the whole weekend, and or 8 times. No, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, and I was always worried that I was going to trip on that and then look like an absolute fool, but luckily I didn't.
Good man.
And, got better as the weekend went on. So by the sixth one, it was very good. The first 2 were a bit disastrous.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the player you're running out with? Like, did they know that you were there following
them? I never
them?
really knew. No, they never turned around. I was like a ninja in the dark.
Very good. Yeah. And makes for some nice footage as well.
Yeah, probably the only time I'm ever going to run out to a Final Four ever as well. So that was quite nice.
Very good.
Yeah, no, I had a great time shooting over the weekend as well, and I think it just looked spectacular at the end there when they're lifting the trophy. And Anja Althaus, like, what a perfect fit for this team. And I mean, she signed for Vipers to do this, and she's done it already.
Yeah,
and MVP.
It's hard to believe that she hadn't won a title before.
Yeah,
like, you know, MVP of the Olympics way back in 2016, 2020 won, and been in the final before. But that was what was really nice about. And I think it'll dawn on the players as well, because there are players like all the way up to Lunda, who's got 7 titles now, Knedlikova, who has 6 in a row, all the way down to like Yamina Roberts, who never played in this before, winning it for the first time. All those young kids who got to run out in the court, play the last 2 minutes, which is just like, what a time to be, what an opportunity to let them do that. And Vilstrup, who's won it for the first time. So that it's going to mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I asked all of the folks here for their moment of the weekend and for their MVP who's not Vilstrup. Do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, I think probably Katrina Lunde. I think would probably be the MVP who wasn't the MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped counting at 16 saves. How many saves was it in total?
I think she was above 40%. Yeah, at least 16.
I mean, best keeper of all time. I mean, we've already the goalkeeper position sorted for our women's team. I mean, there's no doubt in that now. I mean, not only how dominant she's remained over her whole career, but also how she bounced back from her bad knee injury that she had as well. Like, she came back like she never left. And that's a huge test, I think, of someone's personality and character as well. Not everyone can do that.
Yeah. And a miscarriage not so long ago as well. Like, there's been a lot of setbacks, as we have some
like
hip music
joining us in the background.
In the background, yeah.
So London, that, and the moment of the weekend, I think, is a bit trickier. But I think there was one kind of moment that kind of sealed one of the semi-finals when it was Gjør Vipers, when there was a pass from Stina Oftedal quite late in the second half, just as they were getting on momentum, and a steal from the Vipers winger, whose name I'm forgetting now.
Which on the left side, son of Aeneas Anderson.
And she intercepted it. It didn't look like a whole lot, but that was such a key moment, I think, in terms of had Gjør scored there, I think we could have seen Gjør in the finals.
Yeah.
And it would have been a totally different day today. So I think that was a very kind of small moment, which I think was actually hugely important in terms of the balance of the whole weekend. But absolutely incredible.
I'm glad you said Lunda. Ditte Vind also said it. And do you remember what my prediction was?
Your prediction going into the weekend, who was going to be MVP?
Who was going to win and who was going to be MVP?
Did you say Shevkova again?
No.
Lunda. Oh, Lunda.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. She having the podcast in your favour as always.
Mihai saying in the chat there, Chris's voice is unexpectedly intact after these 4 insane games.
So, but I wanted. So Anna won it, right? MVP.
Yeah.
Scored 11 goals over 2 games.
How many assists though?
Yeah, and I think it's, for me anyway, like, and if you kind of learn a lot about a player when you're videoing them the whole time. And her and Yamina Roberts are an absolute nightmare to video because you never know what they're going to do.
The hips don't lie.
Yeah, but they'll fool you, and I'm going to, she's going to pass to the centre back now, and I'm going, and then I'm just like, she didn't, and you end up missing so much stuff. Then
it's like the cameras here, and they've gone over there.
You see it on TV as well, like, because she's fooling everybody.
Yeah,
and so like she didn't win it for goals, but I think she won it for just being an absolute nuisance to every defence that you could see it in the defender as well. I mean, the lumps they were tearing out of her constantly. It was just, you're doing your job when there's hits going in like that as well. And I think it was just like she was so unpredictable. Just didn't know where she was going to go. No look passes come from all over the place. Really important goals as well.
The timing of the goals. It's a bit like with the goalkeeper, it's not always about the amount of goals or saves they have, but when they make them. And Vilstrup did that in the second half in the semi-final, and she set the tone in the final today. And it's just also a delight to see in comparison to Rostov, like remember when they lost the final Rostov in 2019, it was like give the ball to Anna, and they were just hoping for her to come up with some kind of miracle.
Yeah.
She was doing the same things, but she had 3 defenders on her.
Yeah.
This time, the opposition couldn't do that because Jerzhebkova's there, Roberts is on the other side, and so it's nice to see what it's like as her being a part of a bigger team in that sense. And despite her not taking such a dominant role, she's been the MVP of this weekend, and she's had her highest scoring season in the Champions League, which is while being not a bit part player, but like being a part of the team. Yeah, so it's really allowed her to unleash herself.
And a huge smile on her face as well. Yeah. She seems to be really enjoying her handball playing with Vipers, so that's great to see also. Yeah. But I think how their backcourt, the 3 players you named there, Roberts, Jerzhebkova and Anna, and it's just how they link up together. Probably more similarities between Roberts and Anna than anyone else. Jerzhebkova's kind of her own player in that regard, a little bit more direct, bit more of an armour on her. But how they complement each other is just really, really incredible. Anna, like as you said, drops a shoulder, doesn't get by her defender, but just dishes it off to Roberts, and then she's dancing around the place as well. And you have Jerzhebkova coming in like an absolute bulldozer. I mean, it's a nightmare to deal with. And when you contrast it with another backcourt, which is also quite different in terms of each personality, it's like your backcourt today. Justine Oftedal, Enzimenko and Anna Gross, all incredible individual players of their own, but it never felt like they could link up properly or get anything going in the backcourt at certain parts of the game, parts where they needed to perform. I mean, especially the first half, that was an absolute disaster. Second half, it was an absolute disaster. But they did seem to run into a lot of kind of dead ends with each other, where they kind of didn't have any answers to any questions, but you never felt that with the Vipers backcourt.
The only, what's coming to my mind now is a bit like the Danish men's team at the World Championship this January, where you had Pitlick and Gietzel on either side, and then Hansen in the centre, but Vipers are better in that sense, because you have these 2 players who are just like dancing around you. It's like facing 3 boxers. 2 of them are like ducking and diving, and then the third just punches you straight in the face when you're not paying attention.
He just solid jab.
Yeah, and that's Jerzhebkova there, just to bang them in when necessary, when you're done with having the other 2 dancing around you. And Jerzhebkova moves on to Denmark next season. Roberts and Vekreva will stay on, I imagine. Roberts definitely, I guess. Vekreva, who knows, but I guess she's staying next season as well.
Not a hot take now, but do you think she's a bit easier to replace than trying to replace Anna Vekreva and Jamina Roberts?
Well, they've brought in Paula Arkos, who I guess will be one of the people they have in mind for that, who is again like a third player who's going to be moving around a lot. So maybe maybe they need another one who can bang in some easy goals. That is something they're going to have to figure out. It's hard to imagine them having, we probably said that last year, but every year it's like a new collection or a variation on that team, but they're just as good, if not even better. So who's to say that won't be the case next year? Yeah. I'm not gonna make that take now. But
when we were shooting in the media call, the Vipers players were talking about Anna and how she's like actively learning Spanish. And we were asking, why did she know? Because she'd much rather live in Spain than she would in Norway. I was thinking, I'm not sure who she's going to play for in Spain.
Yeah, exactly.
But, interesting though.
Yeah, I don't want to be anyone in Spain she's playing for anytime soon. Not if she wants to win the Champions League again. No. So, you gave your MVP, your favourite moment.
What was your favourite moment?
I said it. I didn't actually say it properly. Mentioned it at the beginning. It's a bit of a corny one. It's because everyone else went for bulk scoring in the semi-final, which I think is that is an immortal moment. But what I really liked was the last 2 minutes of the final and the whole arena, every single set of fans standing up and just like appreciating the whole thing. That's not what I expected from the FTC fans. Yeah. Of course, they were backing their team all the way, but the Djur fans rising to their feet, just everyone kind of appreciating what both teams put into that final. And there was a clear winner in the end, like appreciating their brilliance, but also FTC's just like grit and determination. And Lunde is like for me, that kind of alternate MVP, but also I think a very close second is Andrea Lekic. what a hero.
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
I dread to think like what her body's like now, because I thought for a moment she broke her collarbone, and then she just like went back out there again. We'll see what happened to her. Maybe we'll have to report back on that again.
Mia's saying here the biggest loss is a coach, in my opinion. What this man managed to do over the last years, irrespective of who left and who joined the team, Vipers kept the same consistency, and that is true. And
yes,
like he is, and we didn't hear from him for a long time.
Yeah,
and then when he came,
he went into investment banking.
Yeah,
he gave up after Larvik. He was like, "No, I'm going to be an investment banker now." It was
probably killed it there as well.
Probably did.
Yeah, I don't know, but
and then went back, and now clearly he's fallen in love with the sport again, and is moving on to Odense.
Yeah,
great signing for them.
Great signing for Odense. Yeah.
But Thomas Hlavati, the assistant coach, Knedlikova's partner, is staying on, taking over the reins. So I think there's going to be a kind of a smooth transition there. So it's not like they're getting a whole new coaching team in. The assistant takes over, a guy who has plenty of experience. Like, he's been a coach at Dürr, he's been a coach at Rostov, he's been a coach at Vipers. Now it's time for him to take on a head coach role. And he's had a lot of good influence, I would say. A mixture of Ambros Martin and Oli Ekstad as his mentors. So I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay.
Biggest shock of the season, or biggest shock of the day, Henny Reistad winning the all-time top goal scorer. All-time top goal scorer.
Both. Top goal scorer for the season and now the all-time top
was it
scorer.
all-time as well? Okay.
Yeah. Now she has that. And at the age of 24. For the season?
Yeah.
All-time for an EHF Final Four history. She has that now, I think 58 at Final Four events. 140 something.
It's wild.
140 something. 442 goals this season.
Wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, scoring over 100 goals in the Champions League is a huge feat, but never mind
142. Yeah.
Getting to 150 almost. I mean, that's
finishing fourth.
And finishing fourth again.
Will Esbjerg ever win a game in Budapest? That
do you feel like
that feels like an Alex Kulish thing.
Yeah, it feels like
Alex can't join us today, so we're like.
Do you feel like maybe? I mean, Jesper has one more shot at it.
Yeah, well, before he moves on to coach Denmark.
Yes, he's one more season.
Or stay with Denmark. Yeah.
I think it's probably a good thing that he's one more crack at it next year, and then there'll be change regardless of what happens. So they can really go for it next time out.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they were. You talked about them being shocked in the semi-final. Like, they're quite shocked today as well.
The second half, I think, was good for them in that sense. They kind of made it a game.
But the first half,
if they'd lost by 12 or so, then it would be painful. Oh, we have big news.
Yes.
Before we go, we're just going to wrap up there, but we can do a giveaway for a signed jersey of the champions, Vipers Kristiansand.
What a prize!
What are we going to do? Is it just like exclamation mark competition or prize? Okay, we're going to find out in a moment. So
that's a great prize.
That is a great. I mean, can I participate in this?
Yes, you can. Can I sign into mine?
Win a signed jersey from the champions, the 3-time back-to-back champions, Vipers. And we got it here. Oh my days!
Oh my goodness! Only the second team in history to do it, to win 3 in a row after Gjør did it a few years ago. So there you have it.
Whose jersey is that? I should know the number 20. Oh, Chapchet, Lisa Chapchet. All the signatures. Holy moly. What a time to be alive. And we're going to get the thumbs up when it's time. And it's exclamation mark ticket. Put exclamation mark ticket in the chat right now for your chance to win a signed jersey. Well, don't say we don't look after you, folks.
Yeah, and
we didn't do anything here. We saw
prize for hanging on right until the end as well.
Yes, yeah. For sticking with everyone right through the day. Oh, now we're flying. Right, so while we give that away, anything else you'd like to touch on before we wrap up here in Budapest? The set is being brought down behind us. The arena is being deconstructed.
Yeah, I still can't believe that Gabriella is leaving. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you just get here now and you feel like, okay, now we've made a real big step. And then he's like, no, it won't get better than this. I mean, maybe he knows something we don't know, but maybe thinking, look, we won't do that again.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, will they do it again? Like, it was such a remarkable journey. Like, literally coming back from the depths of handball hell in the quarterfinal and in the semi-final.
It would be a tall task to do it again next season, but we'll see what.
Because you're thinking like French teams will be back in force. Like
Metz are going to.
Odense are going to come at them. There's going to be almost certainly a third team from two of the big countries. So it could be Hungary, could be Denmark, could be France. I think they're the three countries that are most likely going to have these third teams coming in. So the whole competition is going to get a lot deeper all of a sudden. And scary prospect. So, I mean, get the job done. He's put a lot of time into it. So maybe he'll come in and and as an emergency coach if things go to pot, you know.
So he's nothing lined up as of yet.
Not that I know of. No. Hungary coach.
Yeah, because he's not that old either.
No,
as well. I mean,
no.
he surely have a bit of management left in him. But Bill, who is it? Billy
Vitesse.
1950 jersey. It's a beautiful jersey, and it is a beautiful jersey. Just show you one more time.
Reminder, yes.
You still have time to enter.
Exclamation mark ticket. Put it in the chat. We'll give you another minute or so to win it.
All the signatures are on there, and even the tag on it. Look, for all those collectors out there, they love that.
An original, absolutely. But
what was your goal of the weekend?
We just saw the top 5 goals there of the day, and the first or second one in that first half today from Sandra Solushi Zacic, the one that pinged off the bottom of the crossbar.
Oh yeah,
they were pretty remarkable. The bulk one, that's like a moment in time, you know, for her career, for FTC. I'm trying to think of if there was a particular Vipers one. They were just so damn prolific. None of them really stand out. They were just all really, really good. For the moment itself, bulk. For the pure quality, Solushi Zacic.
Yeah, a few Stina's goals as well in the semi-final. Pretty incredible.
That's true. Wow, true. Yes, that's in the semi-final. The one with the coming in from the left, the broken wrist lob over the keeper.
Oh yeah.
She did a couple of those, but the one in the semi-final. Yeah, Stina Oftedal's come to a new level as well.
She had to, though, didn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole thing.
Maybe she should go back to Vipers.
Yeah.
I don't think Jura fans would like that at all. Yeah.
So.
All right, I think we can, because we're going to wrap up in a moment. I think everyone wants to go home. We're going to have some lovely sparkling waters. So shall we give out the jersey?
How does this work normally?
You can no longer enter. So it does it automatically. And Enzo Bozo, with a 7.69% chance of winning, has won the giveaway. Congratulations to you.
What a prize.
And it's apparently a back-to-back victory for Enzo Bozo. That's top notch. Wow, what a way to wrap it off, huh? Thanks for saving that little surprise for us. What was that, Clemens? Saves postage. Yeah, that's all that Clemens cares about. All right. Well, I think that's the bottom line with Clemens. That's the end. Thank God I wasn't saying this shite on the live stream. Save the good stuff for Twitch, huh? I think we can wrap up for the weekend. Thanks to our colleagues, Lucie Marie Kretschmar, Ditte Vind, Anja Althaus, and Martin Vilstrup, who kept the ship running big time over the last few days. They did a great job. And we'll all be back on Twitch in Cologne in a week and a half's time.
Do it all again.
Do it all again. Even Alex Kulash will be on site as well, I believe, right? Yeah, he will. So the three of us will be together. We'll do a podcast every day, I believe, all 3 days.
And thank you, Chris, as well.
Someone
to thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
the
Brian.
golden pipes of the Champions League.
Thank you so much to everyone for watching. I hope you had a great weekend. Congratulations to Vipers Kristiansand, 3-time champions in a row. Goodbye. See you next week.